KBG Squad. In our second Hennessy conversation, we're going to be speaking with a woman who is the true definition of intelligence, strength, and pure authenticity. You know, she's someone who never stops and, more importantly, never settles. I'm talking about former MP and now best-selling author, Celina Caesar-Chavannes.
My name is Celina Caesar-Chavannes, and I'm running in Whitby, Oshawa. So, Mr. Speaker, I will continue to rock these braids for 3 reasons. Number 1, because I'm sure you'll agree, they look pretty dope. Number 2, in solidarity with women who have been shamed based on their appearance. And number 3, and most importantly, in solidarity with young girls and women who look like me and those who don't.
Might be good, since that message did go out, that I sit as an independent for the rest of the term that I'm here.
Celina, cheers to you.
Well, I didn't put my bitters in my thing yet, man.
Okay, I'm excited. I'm excited to talk with you.
Well, okay, hold on.
Alrighty, Celina, cheers to you. First and foremost, thank you so much for having this conversation with us. We have a lot to talk about. We have to talk about everything that's transpired over the last little while in terms of speaking your truth, your book that you have out right now, which I know has been a bestseller. Congratulations on that. Can you hear me now?
Can you hear me now?
I can hear you.
I thought over the clinking of the glasses, you couldn't hear me, but you could hear me though still, right?
So let me just ask you, how have you been, first off, during all of this crazy year that we've witnessed, that we're still in a way, how have you been?
You know what, Brandon, I've been good. When we think about the grand scheme of COVID and the intersection of racial inequality, what we're seeing in Toronto right now with the disproportionate number of Black people, racialized people who are getting impacted by COVID-19, we don't have a choice but to count our blessings, now more than ever.
You keep it so real, you keep it so authentic. And in your book, you dived right into it. So many people know you as this former politician, and we'll talk about, a bit of your time in that. But for me, what was fascinating is when you kind of, unpeeled the onion a little bit there. And you talked about, being from Grenada and coming here, and that relationship that, that pulling relationship you had with your mom. What was that like for you?
Yes. So that was an interesting piece to write, Brandon, because, I dedicated the book to my mom, and I said, dedicated to my mom, Odessa Caesar, the iron that sharpens me. This product, this woman that's able to use her voice to speak her truth, was shaped by a woman who knew her purpose, spoke her truth, didn't suffer fools lightly. So, writing about that tension, I really needed to honor that tension, because I wanted people to see that irrespective of those relationships, as hard as they are, you should be able to draw something from them.
You have 2 daughters. And so, what's that relationship like with them?
So when you read the book, you see all the kinds of trouble I got myself into as a young person, right? So people always say, so are your daughters how do they behave? They are these fiercely independent women, because I have been very forthcoming about my mistakes to them first, of course. And so they know that their mother isn't perfect. So they also know, look, I could come to you, I could speak to you, I could figure things out with you no matter what. So we have a really nice, and Black people don't like to talk about this, but we have a really nice friendship. I think in this world, in the world that we're in right now, where women, and especially girls of color, are facing so many obstacles, never mind racism and sexism, the beauty standards, everything that they're facing, they need a friend at home.
When you were an MP and you stood up in the House of Commons and you rocked your braids, that was the first time we ever saw that here in Canada, It was such a moment. Even in the book, when you talked about your experience, having an abortion, for me, it was so raw, so vulnerable. And I feel like there are a lot of women out there who probably go through that, but also feel like they can't express that experience for fear of judgment.
Oh, for sure. And you know what? This is why I wrote the book sort of upside down. I wanted to write a book that allowed not only to heal myself, but I also wanted it to heal other people. Blood, sweat, and tears went into this, Brandon. And that's things that people don't know, and we hide because we live in this Instagram filtered world that doesn't show our true selves. Let's show our true selves. Let's talk about truth.
What was the hardest part of the book for you to write?
The part about my grandfather. I've not been able to read that passage of the book and not cry. He really was my love. Like the first person that I knew unconditionally just loved who I was, irrespective of anything, no matter what I would have done, what I could have done, that love would have been there. And when he passed away, it dawned on me, oh my God, people die.
I love seeing this side of you. Like the clips we see, for example, are that interaction that unfortunately you had to experience with the Prime Minister of Canada. When you still think about it till this day, does it still make you want to cry sometimes? And if so, why?
Because I love my job and I was good at my job. So the knot is there already. I was good at my job. And I don't understand why. I don't understand, never mind that moment. I don't understand the 3 years up to that moment. I don't understand the tokenism. I don't understand why I was excluded from all those conversations in 2017 related to the Black community. And I don't understand why I wasn't given the respect and the courtesy of being dignified as a human being first, as someone who's part of a team first. And that for me is the part that I think about. For all those people who had to take it, no, we are setting the record straight. Don't do that again. Don't come for us again.
When I talk with you, I feel like the words that come to my head is like, you never stop and you don't settle. And I appreciate that because I feel like that's a message that a lot of, especially young women, need to hear, young women of color. So what is next for you? You've got this book out, it's doing so well. It's such an eye-opener. What is next for you?
I'm going to continue to fight for equity. I'm going to continue to talk out about mental health. Those are the two things I'm really passionate about. How I do that, where I do that, where I show up next. Be like Pokeroo. I'm just going to pop up somewhere. I can't tell people where I'm going to show up, Brandon. I can't do that. I got to keep them shook.
Who is Celina Caesar-Chavannes?
She is truth. She is joy. She has been able to form a perfect union with her imperfect self and be totally okay with that.
I love that. I loved our conversation. I love that you were so open and honest with me.
Well, thank you for everything that you've done right from the first moment we met to this moment. Just nothing but joy and pride for you.
Wasn't that real? I love it, I tell you. Let me tell you this. We're going to continue having more great Hennessy conversations throughout the year.